Good morning, party people. I wanted to show you guys something. I wanted to show you how I do this, which this is not hard. But I also wanted to show you, not this, not that, but this one. How I do this one. Okay, it's gonna be the same. It's I only use 3 colors. There's another one I want to show you as well. I'm going to show you 2 different steps actually. I'm going to show you this one, and I'm also going to show you how I do that. Turn on another light so we don't have a bunch of shadow going on. Alright. Maybe change the mode of this one. No. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Anyways, so it's a gradient. Same with this one. And flip the page. And these 2 right here. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick vid on how to do it. Get off. Because I have a feeling once you see it, it'll be, oh, how'd you do it? Well, one, I have to pull out all those markers again and try to figure out how I did it with what color markers. And 2, you know, if I just go ahead and do it ahead of time, then I don't have to worry about it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get my light color, which I'm using 991, my blender, which is just a plain colorless marker, a lighter color and a darker color. So I have 676 and 636. I could also use, instead of the 991, I could use the 025. And I can also use the 925. These are just the complementary colors that are with this Hub and Chup Girl November subscription of 2025. It looks like I'm using gray in those, but I'm not. So do not use gray. You can also use this one as a light color. What color is this? I don't even know. 623. I need to put some numbers on that one. But so I think for the one I did with the goals, I used, hold on, let me look again. I think I used this one, and this one. I didn't even use these, but you can still use them. But just, you can use whatever complementary colors you want, but just, they have to be good contrasting colors. Like the November one that I did, when I just used 2 of these colors, or the to-do list, I used 2 of these colors. And then I used like these 2 colors. They just have to be noticeably different in color. So I'm going to start off with the title November. I'm going to do the 3 gradients that I used. The brush pen technique, brush lettering technique that I use, I have Plans for You brush lettering for beginners is the one I referenced. I've been brush lettering for years. However, you really can't not learn a new technique, you know? So for me, I used just something I found generic off online, and I was just kind of, you know, copying that, and wasn't too happy with it, but I was like, I'll modify it as I go, and I did. But then I found hers, she gifted me hers because I was having issues with a package coming, and it's just been a while, and so she was like, hey, for compensation, I'll give you this, and I wish I paid for it at this point. And I might go back and pay for it and gift it to somebody so they can practice, because it's really cool. Like, it's really cool how you can learn how to do that. So anyways, actually, in some of my videos, oops, brought something, I went back referencing my technique. Like, how did I do this thing? So I had to go back and look up how I did, not O, V. I had to look up how I did V. And then I also had to look up and see how did I do my capital N, because I'm used to doing up, down, down, up. And this is just a down, up, down, and then a ending with that. And I actually like that when it looks cuter. So that's the techniques I'm going to use. If you want the whole booklet, you can print it off at home. It's, you know, I think it's like $30-something US dollars. Anyways, all right, here we go. So doesn't matter where I start, but I'm starting with a lighter color. You always start with a lighter color because it's a gradient. You don't want to start with a darker color because you can't make a darker color lighter. You can only make a lighter color darker. Okay. On your brush lettering, you go down, you press heavy, up, you press light, down, you press heavy, up, light, down, heavy, up, light. And it takes practice. You have to do the whole, you know, like this, and then this, you know, so it's a whole thing to kind of help. And you get it as time goes on. Anyways, so I started off with this one. Now I'm going to go to my next one. And it's a layering effect. So you can do this several different ways. You can take some washi tape, and you can look where you want your thing to start. So where you want your gradient to start, and you can lay it that way so you know, hey, don't go above this area. Or you can eyeball it. I'm going to do this just so, you know, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And because we have uppercase and lowercase, you kind of want to not go above the top part of the lowercase letters. So I don't know if this will, but if you can see through my washi tape, I didn't, you know, just like half here, half here. No, I want the top part of my lowercase letters to have some of that yellow with it, okay? All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing, but you're tracing it. You can do the same technique, but it's gonna be a little harder. So you're gonna just have to color it in like a crayon, you know, outline it a little bit. And you wanna cover up all of that yellow. That's what you're gonna do. And you can try to do your brush lettering, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not easy. It's easier to just color it in. I am not using the fine tip part because to me, with these markers, just to me, they don't seem to be the same color all the way through. And I don't know why. I do not know why, but I don't like that. So I use just the one side. Unless I'm outlining something, then I'll use the other side. I'm not outlining. This is what you do. Okay. Oh, I forgot there's one more thing you need. A gel pen. Of any kind that's white. Of course, Jelly Roll has the best as far as quality. But if you've got a cheaper version, I mean, I do. I don't know. And it doesn't write all that great, but if it gets the job done. Or a paint pen. A paint pen works as well. Okay. I'm also trying to do this before my son wakes up from his nap. Because he'll be talking to me the whole time. But there you go. You do that. It takes a little bit of patience with that. Alright. Now, the next part. Take this off so you can see. Look at that. How cool that is. And it's all the way across the way you want it. Ah, this is a cheat. journal. Alright, so you can use that same washi tape if you would like, or if you want to eyeball it, that's fine too. And you go down a little further. So I'm gonna go about right here. I normally look at the dots and go, okay, I won't go above that dot. But for those that are beginning, you want a little bit more streamlined, this is how we do it, okay? So you'll take the next color, the darker color, and you'll go there. And you just color that in. And if you didn't get that yellow covered in good with that other, that lighter purple, that's fine. This is where you can correct it here. And it didn't have to be perfect. Okay. Oops. Alright, once you have that kind of how you want it, okay, I'm gonna take that off. Be careful. Look at that. It looks so cute. Now, oh shoot. Well, why'd you do that? Still took it off. Oh well. Now you will take your, and the only reason I did that is because this is a cheap journal. This isn't my journal that I use like with have thicker paper. This is like a cheap Michaels journal. So I can go over that and fix it if I wanted to. I'm not going to because you'll see it. Anyways, you take your blender and you start with the dark and pull it up to the light. If not, it'll kind of wash out. And you start with the dark here and keep doing it all the way across. Start with the dark and pull it up. And you're just pulling it up a little bit. You're not pulling it up all the way to the top. You're just pulling it up just a hair. Because you still want that yellow to show. And it is okay, I promise. It's not gonna hurt it. It's not, you're gonna be able to wipe this off this blender when you get done. Okay. And if it looks like it's not bleeding all the way, trust me, you're gonna go over this again. It's okay if it doesn't look like it's blending in all the way. All right, now once you do that part and you've got a little bit of that color up in there, you're gonna go down to the darker purple and you're gonna pull that up. Excuse me, and you're gonna pull it all the way up. I mean, you're gonna pull it all the way up. And that is gonna help do that blend like you want it. Now, if you liked just the yellow, orange, with the purple the first round, you could have stopped there. But if you like that 3-tone deal, that's where you pull this. That's where you do this. I forgot my thought process. But yeah, you do that. You pull it up and you go back and you check it. Like mine's not looking all that great because again, I'm using this cheap journal. Which is actually probably bleeding through. Yep, it's bleeding through. So it's not even going to blend properly. Yep, it's not even grabbing the color like I want it to. Anyways, and there you have it. Not perfect because it's in this cheap journal, but it looks good. You know what? Well, if I knew December's color scheme, I would do it. But I don't have that. But yep, that's how you do it. Now, to do it just two-tone, you would stop. You wouldn't do a third color. So, I'm going to use the yellow and the orange. Excuse me. And I'm going to do... I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna do October, but you'd still take the lighter color. I'm using 025. Just forgot how to spell October. And this is not a perfect brush lettering. I was just doing that quickly. Anyways, you see how it's already dark at the top because I lightened my brush, my pressing down. So because I did it that way, I'm going to do the gradient. Wow. Oh, and I lost it. Like it flipped off, and I don't know where it went. Anyways, it's probably under my desk. I'm gonna do the gradient at the top. So, and I'm not gonna put the washi tape down since it's, as you can see what it did up there. But I'm gonna go with, well, I was gonna find the lid. I can't because it's under the desk. Let me get a pencil. And a ruler. Come on, ruler. And I'm going to lay it forward. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop on these dotted lines right here. So I'm not going to go below that. And I'm going to do it the same way. Now, what I like to do, I don't like doing a full flesh line like that. A flesh line, not flesh line. I kind of do this feathering deal, and that's just a little bit below the line, not far, just a hair below the line, and it's just a little feathering. Like you don't quite do a flat just like this line. And that's it. No, you do a little bit of a feathering. You kind of, like you're painting. Let's see. I'm not going to use the blender this time. Just because, obviously. And that's where this feathering may help. If you don't have a blender, you can do that. I'm trying to do it so that I don't have to keep tracing back over it, but I'm gonna have to, so that's just part of art. But yeah, you do that little feathering in a sense, just up and down. No perfect line, rhyme or reason. You'll like it, I promise. But this is the tedious part, because you're trying to make it look like it flows. It blends together. You're not just, in the same yard. Alright. Oh yeah, my lid, I forgot. It's underneath the thing I'm looking for. Alright. And well, oops. And you can erase that, and there you go. You're done. Now the other technique, the other thing you can add, I gotta find my top. There it is. Easy pickings. The other thing you can do is use your gel pen. You can go over, add little dots. Little line and little dots. To kind of give it like a 3D effect. I mean, you can do that, but you don't have to. Now I'm gonna do. You can use a fine tip marker. I'm going to use a gel pen. It does the same things. Nothing, you know. I just would rather use this because I think this one's actually dead. Anyways, and you can trace your shadow. I always do, me looking at it, the right side, but you can do whatever side you want, but just keep it to that one side. And this is what I do with my dual tones or the triple color. I do this, gives it depth, but you can stop before, you don't have to keep going. Yeah, and just do it on that one side. Do a little bit underneath, not far underneath, because you don't want to trace it all the way around. And then, if you would like, you can do a shadow effect, and that's where you use your grays. Let's see, this gray is a N52. This is my favorite gray to use. It is a cool gray. You can use a warm gray, but I just don't have all the colors. I don't have all of the marker colors. So this is the one I like to use in most of mine. Very rare do I use another gray, unless you know, it's a tone I'm going for. It's a certain particular tone. Like if it's an antique look, I might do more of a warm gray. You don't have to do a huge deep shadow everywhere. You know, I just do it because I'm going down and I'm just used to that. But you don't have to have a deep shadow. You can just have a quick small line like that. And you gauge it. You don't have a set, how do I put this? You don't have to have a set like, oh, it's got to be 2 millimeters long. Like, no, just kind of look at it, eyeball it, start small. Start with a small one. If you want to do it wider, do it wider. This actually is reminding me of candy corn now. So because it reminds me of candy corn, I am going to add some white, even though this is upside down. No, wait, it's white, orange. Yeah, it's white, orange. Yeah, yellow. And as you can see, I'm using my cheaper white pen, and it's not showing up all that great. And I'm definitely blaming it on the paper. I'm not blaming it on the pen. Yeah, I'm definitely blaming it on the paper. Let's see, I think I have a white marker somewhere. And you see how I can go into the yellow? Like, it's okay. You don't have to stop in the orange to do that. But yeah, and that gives you your 3D effect on your, that's your dual tone with the gradient at the top. This is your three-tone, I want to say tri-tone, but I don't even think that makes sense. But either way, this is with your 3 colors with a blending brush on crappy paper. But you, even after a while of it's just sitting there, it still looks pretty cool. I like it. Almost looks like a sunset, which is even amazing. And then you have our candy corn that we just created on our own. So yeah, and I just used 2 different colors. One's light, wrong yellow. One's light, one's a darker orange, and you have those 2 harsher colors. If you want something a little bit more together, like, let's see, let's try this. Just because we're here anyways, we're doing this. Let's just try it. Let's do, what word do we want to do? Let's just do the word light. This lettering I'm doing is not what I was taught. This is a bit of cursive and a bit of brush lettering. I don't know if this one will work though. I think that's darker than this one. Yeah, I think that's darker. Let's try that. Let me try that again. No, that's not gonna work. These 2 colors aren't gonna work at all. I need to. Let's try this one. This one will work better. These purples will work better than those finicky. Alright, and I'm gonna use not that dark, harsh purple. I don't have lilac. Let me use 665. That's what I have. Because the only other one I have is 603, and I don't know if that'll work. It looks too, we'll do it. Okay, so this is 623, this is 603. We'll try those. I'm gonna do the bottom. I'm going above this line, these dots right here, so yeah, it'll work. It works. Yay, it works. I'm not going above that line. I made my imaginary line in my head. And I'm matching it. Across the letters. Yeah, that works. I'm sorry, I'm having a creative brain fart, I guess. I'm still doing that feathering technique at the top because I don't want to use the blending brush. But yeah, look at that. 2 colors of the same on the same side of the color wheel. It's just, one's got a little bit more pigment in it. And there you go. Now, that's done. You don't have to do anything else besides add our dot for our light. You don't have to add anything else to it if you don't want to. I want to try something. Hang with me. Okay, remember we were doing up here with the, the dark light, and then we're shadowing. We do the shadow underneath. I want to do the shadow on the word. I don't have another color that'll match this, so I am going to kind of trick it and go over it one more time, just on one side. Just on one side, just like we did here, but just on one side. This is a trickier part because it's almost imagining the light hitting this way, and we're making this look more 3D. And you have to trick your brain into realizing that's what you're doing. So you only do one side. You don't do both. Okay, and then this one right here, this is a little harder because they're so thin. Look at that. It kind of looks a little, yeah. And I'm going to do the same with this one here. It looks great. Okay. Do I want to do this? Yeah, I do. I'm trying this out, guys. So, good luck if you're trying to follow along. I'm just doing this because I want to see if I can do it. And I can. And I'm excited about it, and I'm happy about it. And that's pretty much all art and creativity is. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. Now, if I had the right proper paper, I would use a blending brush, definitely, and put that on there, and it would work. Now we did all the heavy to make it look like it's 3D on this side. Now we got to make it look light on this side. Well, not make it look light, but give it the definition of being light on this side. So there's two ways to do it. And I've done it both ways, and I can't remember which way I like the most. Stop moving. Which is to put the light right on top of the dark, or to put it off on the actual lighter side. And I can't remember which one I like the most, so I'm doing both. Alright, look away. Yeah, I like it better on the edge, so we're going to do that. So do that, do it on the edge. Do it on the edge. So you're doing it completely on the opposite side of where you made the shadow contrast. I'm using a gel pen because it's a little bit more easier to control. So yeah, I don't think I can get that off. But yeah, do it on the opposite side. And there you have it. Kind of a 3D color there. So yeah, we did 3 different gradients. Added extra details to the last one. This one we didn't do as many details. That one we did quite a few details, but the paper made it trash. It still looks good, but it's just trash. But yeah, you get your complementary colors. Your darker color can be one of a few things actually. But your darker colors for this one is just a little bit darker than your third color. Again, we use 991, 676, and 636. And then I also use 925, 025. But then for this one, because I was trying to do like the same color scheme, the same side of the color wheel, I used 623 and 603 for that. The only time you needed to use the gray was to do the outside shadowing. Do not need to use it when you're blending. And if you were going to do this one, you just kind of, if you were going to do just 2 colors with a 3D effect to it, you just do the darker color on the outside, on the side that you want it to look 3D on. To look, not 3D, look like there's a shadow on without using the gray to make it look shadowy. You can use a gray, and I have used a gray, but I don't particularly like it too much. Sometimes it just makes it look dreary or over saturated. I don't want it to look too saturated. I just want it to look a little deeper. But yeah, your other complementary things that you would need is a white paint pen or marker, a gel pen, and then a fine tip marker pen, or you can use a gel pen to do that. Wouldn't recommend a Sharpie Permanent because they're not as fine. But anyways, thanks for doing this with me. I'm gonna go back to do laundry now. Y'all have a good day.